Citizens Bank Park will be full of people later this week, but they won't be in the stands. They're actually going to be spending the night at the ballpark and sleeping on the field. It's all to raise awareness about people experiencing homelessness. And joining me now to explain are Hugh Organ, the Chief Program Officer with Covenant House, Pennsylvania, and lifelong Phillies fan and producer Mike Tollin. Thank you both for being here.
Great to be here
this morning. We appreciate you coming in. All right, Hugh, we got to start with you. For people who don't know, tell us about Covenant House.
So Covenant House is the largest provider for runaway homeless and trafficked youth. We provide shelter as well as street outreach services, drop-in services for youth all across the Philadelphia region, as well as in York, Pennsylvania. We provided over 31,000 nights of shelter last year for youth from the Philadelphia area. Most of our youth are under the age of 21, and they're homeless and on the streets. And we go out and we contact them and we get them to come into our shelter. So we're the largest provider to runaway and homeless trafficked youth.
Wow. And Mike, you had this sleep out idea. Tell us how it's going to work, and just tell us about the event.
I've been working on this for almost 10 years with a guy named Bill Bedrosian, who lives in LA, but like me, he's a stealthy Philly fan living across the country. And I heard about the Covenant House through an organization we started called PACE, which stands for Philanthropy and Community Engagement. And I heard that this is the big annual fundraiser, and I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if you could do, instead of doing it in the parking lot or the driveway of the Covenant House building, what about doing it on a ball field of a professional sports team? So off we went, wandering around, talking to different teams for a decade, and finally we came back home to Philly, and John Middleton, who with his wife Lee is very active in supporting the needs to care for and help homeless youth. And so he loved the idea, and here we are right on the precipice of a huge event Thursday night. And
you've got some big names, too, that are going to be part of this.
Yeah, well, the Philly Fanatic is the biggest.
Well, yeah.
Right? Cole Hamels is going to sleep out, and I think Larry Boa and a bunch of players from the championship teams, and I'm sure there'll be some surprise guests who at the last minute want to grab a cardboard box and a sleeping bag and jump in. There's going to be probably 300 or 400 people sleeping on the field. The way to register is sleepoutphillies.org. Sleepoutphillies.org. And Thursday night, the doors open about 8 p.m. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I think if you brought your glove and you wanted to have a catch with your mom or dad before,
you're sleeping out. If you're doing it, why not, right?
And it's great. You hear from the homeless kids who've been served by Covenant House, and you understand the shelter and the care and all the support that they get, and how really trying to eradicate homelessness. Philly's doing pretty well, right, Hugh?
Yes, we're doing a great job. We sheltered over 300 kids last year from the Philadelphia area, but the numbers continue to rise, especially since COVID. We're seeing more and more young people on the streets.
And that's the important part. I'm glad you got back to that. The cool part is, oh my gosh, you get to sleep out on a ballpark. The serious part is this is a real issue, Hugh.
Yes, yeah. We work with young people who are being turned out on the streets, kids who are aging out of the foster care system, kids who, through no fault of their own. I have a young man in shelter now. His grandmother died, and grandma was his guardian. And the only reason he's homeless now is because there was no other family. So he's now homeless because his guardian died.
Wow.
So we're contacting kids who are being trafficked. Our kids, when they're on the street, are at risk of being trafficked. About 20% of the young people we see have been victims of human trafficking. So by providing that stable housing, we're able to get them off the streets and away from predators. And young people are preyed on while they're on the streets.
Of course they are. So, Mike, what do you ultimately hope comes out of this?
Well, the goal is to raise these critical funds, which just allows Covenant House to serve more kids. And if you really ask me what's the goal, we want to make this a model program, because we see that the funds that have been pledged are double or maybe even triple what the normal events are able to raise. And so if this works, we plan to go out to the other owners from the other teams in Major League Baseball and even maybe other sports and make this the model.
Good luck to both of you for this, for coming up with this idea, for actually making it happen. Kudos to the Phillies, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Hugh Organ with Covenant House, Pennsylvania, producer Mike Tollin. Thank you for being here. Good luck with the event later this week. It's already a success. We already know that. For more information about Covenant House, Pennsylvania, and the sleep out at Citizens Bank Park Thursday night into Friday morning, tap the NBC 10 app or just head to our website, nbc10.com/findit on 10.